Well, good. Well, welcome everybody. How fantastic to have you all here with us. Who can believe we're locked and loaded for Skyline's inaugural end-of-year VCE exam revision series, so gratefully in partnership with UBS, represented here this morning by Managing Director Kelvin Barry, who will address us in a moment. I also note Skyline's Chair, Katrina Rainin, OAM, who will speak with us soon also. My name's Jane Sydenham-Clark and I'm Skyline Education Foundation's CEO. I acknowledge that we're gathered on Indigenous lands. For me, the Wurundjeri lands. I recognise that sovereignty to these lands, the sea and the air, has never been ceded, and I wholeheartedly pay my respect to Indigenous elders, past, present and emerging. This week we will comb through 13 VCE subjects in live sessions guided by our subject experts, including our extraordinary Skyline alumni and their carefully selected peers, with the aim in our live sessions of lifting learning in our Skyline students and their peers in our partner schools. And then in recordings to extend this opportunity to all students sitting their Year 12 exams in November. Make sure you register to receive access to the recorded sessions at skylinefoundation.org.au. I want to immensely thank UBS, particularly Kelvin and Chloe Barry, and also Caroline, Katrina, Charlie and colleagues. Your individual and collective kindness in supporting Skyline's work and empowering our students by funding individual positions in our program, providing computers, ensuring tutoring, and enabling this very series is nothing short of extraordinary. Exemplifying your ethical leadership and your commitment to diversity and opportunity, so that everyone has the same chance to get ahead, everyone is respected, and everyone is welcomed and valued. These values reflect those of Skylines. I want to thank our brilliant tutors today, Susan, Theano and Josh, who you will meet in a moment, and my hardworking, incredibly dedicated colleagues, Annie, Gypsy, Andrew, Nancy, David, Rachel, Karen and Leah, for all you have done, not only to contribute to this series, but so much more. And to acknowledge our Board of Directors for their generous support and their enablement. It's now my great pleasure to introduce you to Skyline's inspirational chairperson, Katrina Rainin, OAM, bringing you some words of wisdom and welcome. Thank you, Katrina.
Thank you, Jane. I must say, as an ex-teacher from many, many years ago, I find it's a really, really exciting time, and I hope you do too. And it's not just sadism, it's actually a really exciting time. Good morning, Skyliners guests and our generous friends from UBS. I hope you're all well and looking forward to a really productive session. And I've got to say that each time we do something that brings our alumni back into the mix and has them support the next generation of students, it is a wonderful day for me. But it has been a really strange year in so many ways. But I will say that when the world is uncertain, there are some certainties that we can talk about. And that's what I want to touch on really briefly this morning. Every other Year 12 student in Australia is feeling the same way as you do now. And that's part anxious and part can't wait to show what you know and get a mark that rewards that learning. And remember that in a world of uncertainty, you need to figure out what's within your circle of control and what's outside. The questions in the exam obviously are outside your control. You can't tell what's going to be on the paper. But the one thing that you do manage is yourself from here on in. And what I mean by that is it's how you manage your stress, how you manage your time, how you manage your learning, and how you manage your revision. The Atar helps to define what your next step is in your education pathway, but VCE is so far from the end game, it's not funny. Some people are really clear about what they want to do in their lives, but I've got to say, when I started my science degree at the age of 17, I had absolutely no idea why I was doing it and what I was going to do with it. That knowledge about who you are and what you want to do with your life and career comes through being part of a professional community from then on. And learning is the magic of education, not assessment. So let's not overcook this Atar piece at the end of the day. If education is a game, Atar is the first roll of the dice. So treat it like a game. Train for it like the learning professional that you are. Have a study plan and stick to it. The better you plan, the less stress you'll have. For some of you, VCE exams will be like a grand final. For others, they're like achieving a personal best, and there's no wrong. Really importantly, know the rules. As Winnie the Pooh said, before beginning a hunt, it is wise to ask someone what you're looking for before you begin looking for it. And what that means is know what the question's asking before you start to answer it. Know the difference between a good score and a great score on any question. And for goodness sake, attempt every question. If no one else says that, I'll say it now. But really importantly, know how to project you into your answers, and then practice, practice, practice. I have a saying in life that the harder you work, the luckier you are. At least you'll come out of each exam knowing that you gave it your best shot. So be brave and confident. VCE exams aren't written to trip you up or catch you out. They're actually written to enable you to show what you know. And a note to our Skyliners, if you don't mind, to remember why you were selected and what we said to you when you came into the program. We didn't select you because of your test results and exam results. We selected you because you have dreams to pursue interesting and challenging careers, because your teachers and your Skyline team believe that you'll make a difference in life to yourself and your family. You wanted to extend yourself and do your best and show how you could do your best. You wanted to be in the race, and you have high potential and determination. You'll hear this a lot, you are more than your Atar. But what it means is that your exam results are just one of the measures of what you can do in your next step in education. We don't mind what Atar results you get. You only have to know in your heart of hearts that you gave it your best shot. That's all we asked you to do. So to you all, good luck with your exam revision day today. Ask all the questions you can and start to write down your study plan, so that when you get to the day of the exam, you feel as though you've really given yourself every opportunity to do well. I asked my uni student daughter, Taylor, if she had any really great advice to give you. And of course, she's my daughter, so she quoted Dr. Seuss. And she said, "You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose." So remember, you've got a lot of people around you who wish you well and want to support you to do your best. And one of them is our really generous host for today, Kelvin Barry from UBS. Kelvin, I can't tell you how much it means to us at Skyline to have UBS and you in particular involved in our program this year. Thank you for all your generous support and indeed the support throughout the whole year. So as I say goodbye and good luck to our students for today, can I invite Kelvin Barry to say a few words to you all, please? Thank you.
Thanks, Katrina. And good morning, everyone. I'm Kelvin Barry and I'm one of the Managing Directors at UBS in Australia. On behalf of all of our team at UBS, we are delighted to be able to support Jane and Annie and the team in delivering this exam revision series for you. It's been a very challenging year for everyone this year, particularly those of us who are in Melbourne. And it's meant that all of us have needed to do things differently this year. That's not always a bad thing. Sometimes that creates opportunities. And this, I think, is a really good example of where a group has been able to respond to the difficulties that this year has posed, to come up with something that I think is very powerful and very positive and exciting in terms of being able to deliver a comprehensive exam revision program, and we're thrilled to be part of it. Jane and the team have organised an amazing group of presenters for you today, and I'd encourage you all to make the most of that. This is a great opportunity for you, so please do make the most of it in the live sessions, in listening to the recordings, and in thinking and planning your revision program, as Katrina said. I completed Year 12 in Melbourne. I studied commerce and law at Monash University, and I still remember what it's like to study for and complete exams and assessments, whether it's at Year 12 or university. And there are a few things that stuck with me through that worked well for me, which I'll just run through very briefly in case they're of use to some of you. The first is it's really important to be positive and confident, to remember there are lots of things that you do know, and don't just focus on the things that you haven't quite yet mastered or you're not quite sure of. Being confident about the things that you do know is a great base and platform to extend your learning. The second is plan your time. Plan your time for revision, but also in the exam. It's amazing how often people run out of time simply because they don't have a little bit of a plan for getting through the paper and making sure you've got some type of answer for all of the questions that are asked. The third, and this might sound obvious, but it's still relevant to me today, is to read the question. It's amazing how often in business people respond to something other than the thing that they've been asked. The same is true for us at year 12 or at university. Read the question and then answer the question. And my final suggestion is keep moving. It's often the case, whether it's in year 12 or university or in our careers, that we hit things that stump us, that challenge us, or are things that we don't know, things that distract us. And it's very important to have the discipline to be able to disconnect at that point and keep moving to the next question, because the next question gives you another opportunity to demonstrate what you know, which is really what assessment's about. Having been interviewed and having done a lot of interviewing over 20 years at UBS, it's really interesting to see the different ways people respond to assessment and interviews. My suggestion to you is to think of it as a great opportunity to demonstrate to someone what you do know as opposed to what you don't know, and embrace all of those opportunities, whether it's an exam paper, an interview, or any other opportunity, is to present yourself with confidence and positivity to demonstrate the many things that you do know and you can do. On behalf of all of our team at UBS, from the most junior graduate to the most senior staff in our firm, we again wish you all the very best, both for the revision program, for your exams, and for the many years ahead. And thank you to Jane and the team for having the opportunity to be involved in such a wonderful program.
Thanks so much, Kelvin. Again, we are just so grateful. How lovely. Now I think we have the opportunity to hear from our Andrew, who's going to tell us a little bit about how things need to operate in the Zoom environment. Thank you, Andrew.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's quite a journey over the last X number of months. When I first gave this speech, everybody had this bemused look on their face about what Zoom was, but of course we're all now experts at it. But for those who haven't had the pleasure, and this somehow in some strange paradigm is your first Zoom experience, I'm just going to briefly tell you about some of the features so you're not sort of lost. Typically in front of you, you'll see a video feed, which is the whole point of Zoom, of course. Now, up in the top right-hand corner, there's a little button that says View. And that button, and it does keep changing thanks to the staff at Zoom, will allow you to switch between Speaker View and Gallery View. Your Speaker View will always focus on who it is that's talking at the time and gets pretty much the most real estate in your screen. And the Speaker View will allow, the Gallery View will allow you to see those in the who are participating who have their webcams turned on. Just for a moment, if you can all turn your webcams on if you do have them, that would be a fantastic way of demonstrating just how many people are actually on this call. You don't have to say anything, of course. And as you'll see, there's a whole lot of webcams coming on, and that's because people are fantastic. Now, at the bottom left-hand side of your video screen, you'll see your mute and unmute button. You can click that and, of course, unmute yourself, but a very quick and easy way if you just want to respond with a short answer to a question is to hold down the space bar. The space bar becomes almost like a walkie-talkie button. As you hold it down, you can talk. As you let it goes back and puts you back into mute. It's also great if you're on a call and you don't want too much background noise going through. Next to that, of course, you have your stop and start video, which you've all just demonstrated you've found. So this is completely redundant, me pointing that feature out to you. Now, if you ever have to share the screen, if you're doing a presentation, you'll see the big green button directly underneath that allows you to share your screen, but also share what it is that you're looking at on your screen. On the far right-hand side, you'll see the reactions button, which allows you to do some really, really basic emojis for absolutely no value, but you can still use them. Now, if you have a look, there's a button that says participants and a button that says chat. If you haven't already clicked to that, that'll pop open on the right-hand side. The participants will allow you to set, to essentially put your hand up. You see at the bottom of the participants section, there's a yes, a no, there's a go slower and a go faster button. I've never seen anybody use that in the thousands of bloody meetings I've been in, but they're still there. Beneath that, you'll see the chat section. Now, this chat section allows you to communicate with everybody on the chat. You can, of course, privately message people if need be. And I thank the person who renamed themselves to Full Stop. That's very insightful. And you'll also see a button that you'll be able to use during the revision sessions that says File. Now, that File button, tutors will be able to share information and presentations as they see fit, and then that will allow you to download files through the Zoom chat. Pretty much that's it for the most part. Thank you very much.
Sounds great. Thank you, Andrew. Any questions into the chat would be really great. And Andrew and our supporters from UBS who are here helping us, particularly with chat, will be able to help you out. Okay, here we go, Gypsy. Where are you? Time for you to share with us your vision. Our project coordinator, you have done the most extraordinary job pulling this this piece together. My congratulations to you and my excitement to hear what you have to share with us. Over to you.
Yeah, cool. Hello, everybody. My name is Gypsy. I've been kind of putting all the tutors together and making sure that presentations are all good and everything like that. Yeah, it's really exciting to finally, I mean, we've been working on this for months to finally see it all culminate. And this week, I hope, and I am sure it will be such an amazing week for you guys to really have a, yeah, really be revised on your subjects. I won't take up too much time because I know that all the tutors really, really want to start right at 9 so they can fill in all their content. But I wish you all luck for today's revision series, and if you're going to tomorrow's or Thursdays. Yeah, that's all from me.
That's lovely. Thank you, Gypsy. Theano, who is presenting English as a second language, a wonderful Skyline alumna, please share with us.
Hi, everyone. My name is Theano, as Jane said. I graduated from Skyline in 2019, and in today's session, I'm gonna run through the VCAA study design and how to ace your exam. That's it from me. Let's go to the other tutors so that we don't...
Lovely. Thank you, Theano. And participants understand that our Theano delivered a perfect score for English as a second language, so she is very well placed to help us, help you with whatever your needs will be in English as a second language. Joshua, talking about extraordinary results in your VCE. Joshua Strauss, over to you on English literature.
Yeah, hi guys, I'm Josh and I'll be running the literature session today. So basically we're just going to go over a few tips and tricks and work through some sample responses and how to tackle the exam.
Sounds great, Josh. I do see that you are reversing on your virtual screen, so maybe a consideration in terms of presentation. I'm sure Andrew will have that in hand. Susan, where are you, Susan? Oh, here you are, Susan, our presenter for English. So for the subject, staying in this link, for both Josh and Theano's subjects, you will be moving rooms, but for Susan's participants, staying in this link. Susan, thank you. Over to you.
Hi everyone, my name's Susan. I'm running the English session, as you've just heard. We're pretty much just going to do a comprehensive overview of each type of essay you're required to do on the exam. Some kind of basic fundamental structural stuff, as well as tips for writing really good, sophisticated essays. So yeah, keen to see you all there.
Lovely. Thank you, Susan.